Joined today from the Department of Trade Consumer Protection. It is my friend from the woods, Michael. Take it on home. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
Doing wonderful. Today we're going to be talking about election season and fraudulent PACs. And for people who don't know PACs and all of these, we're going to break it down for you because that's what Michael's here for. But we want to make sure that you don't get scammed into donating money to somebody that you maybe thought you were, but it turns out to be a scam. And just spotting these things, I think, is more important than anything. So it is election season, and we're definitely seeing a lot of stuff as it gets closer and closer. But that just gives the persona for scammers to like, ooh, I know how we can take care of this and grab some info from people. So when you're looking at this from Department of Trade Consumer Protection side of things, what are we seeing out there, and what are we hoping to prevent?
Yeah, so donating to charities or any cause and that being exploited has been a problem, that we've talked about a few times before, and we always try and make sure we bring awareness to. And with the political campaign season coming up, you're going to have a lot of political action committees reaching out looking for donations to support whatever their cause is. And so, of course, as you accurately mentioned, this is also another opportunity for criminals and scammers to take advantage of that generosity or those causes and try and steal some of that money. So what we're seeing is, these same types of approaches where they're trying to put up a front that they're one of these organizations, and some of them actually do register with the Federal Election Commission and send out, and by doing so, and they register as a PAC, that gives them, some opportunities to reach out to any consumers and try and solicit funds. And some of those funds, may go towards those causes. And in other situations, you may see scammers where they're just grabbing that money and they're not spending a single dime in it on any campaign activity. They're just pocketing it all. One side note that's interesting about these particular scams is with many of the telemarketing laws, not both charitable and political activities are exempt from our do not call list. So not only are these criminals bypassing, this whole front, they're also getting around this call list by registering. So consumers might think that it's truly a legitimate call when in reality it's not.
What's the form that these are coming in? So you kind of mentioned the phone calls for sure, but where are other places that you might see these scams pop up?
I imagine a lot of people are going to be getting those text messages. We've probably started to receive the text messages. You saw them ramp up in April. Of course, you'll see them ramp up again as you lead into November. Those text messages are going to have links where they're going to say, hey, click on here to donate. It's going to take you to a page or whatnot. And these are far more effective because you can run one computer program and it can just send out, hundreds of thousands of texts at one time. And it doesn't take any human labor to do so. The telemarketing calls, they're a little bit more complex, where the initial robocall that goes out is run by a computer program, but you need a live person on the other end to try and get that information from you. So it's a little bit more laborious, but you're going to get them through text, and you're going to get them, some of them, through emails as well.
So if you do legitimately want to participate in donating money to a PAC or any, when you're trying to donate money, what could be some things that we should look at to prevent ourselves from being scammed into something we didn't know that we wanted to donate to?
I think what's becoming my tagline for just about anything is just do your research, do a little bit of homework before you make what's come to just about any decision now because of all these threats that are out there. The first one is, hop online, take a look at that particular PAC's, webpage, see if they're actually naming, who's participating, who their leadership is there any contact information, how they want those donations to be sent to them. If you're seeing things that raise a red flag, like, hey, it seems really mysterious, or it's kind of shadowed behind this veil of anonymity, that should be a lot of red flags of this might not be legitimate. Looking also for how they want to take their payments. If they're asking things to be sent through online platforms like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, things like that, you're going to want to make sure you're cautious about that, because those are very difficult to trace back and get the money returned to you if you realize that, it was a scam. And then the other resource that you could really use that I highly encourage everyone is to go to a couple websites, which one is fec.gov, that's federalelectioncommission.gov, or www.opensecrets.org. And what these do is they look up and they have a full listing of all registered PACs. And Open Secrets also lists how that money is spent. So you have the opportunity to look and say, I want to donate to this, and verify that, one, they're legitimate, and two, they're actually spending that money on campaign activity.
Yeah, great stuff there. And I said, you just and we talked a little bit about the last time that we were talking about scams in general, but you got to be on the lookout for it, got to be ready for it. We're not trying to scare off people or say everything is negative or this and that, but you do the responsibility of making sure you are donating to the right person and not being scammed here. You just got to take those extra steps, because it's just so easy for scammers to get onto these things, and they always come during important moments. A lot of the times we're talking about this, and it's happening in specific times, like an election year.
Yeah, it's a good point you bring up, that it's kind of like a delicate dance between making our message is not to discourage anyone from donating to charities or PACs. A lot of them are legitimate. They're going to a good cause. The money is needed on all sides, including, this upcoming the season. So it's just making sure you take that one extra second to pause, do a little bit of research, look at what you're spending, because it's your money and you want to make sure it's going where it's supposed to. So take a second, make sure it's going where it is.
Michael, thank you so much for the information. One more time, for people who are interested in learning more about the stuff we talked about today, or just the great resources that you have. And it is an understatement. The resources at your website are awesome.
Thanks, Jeremy. We put a lot of effort into making sure they're useful and helpful with what we're talking about here. And that website is datcp.wi.gov. Our consumer protection page has a library of information to help you out. And if you need a little bit more or want a person to help guide you there, give us a call at 1-800-422-7128.
I have reached out to you guys through email and filled out some reports, and it's really simple to do, and you guys are very responsive. So don't think that these requests are going unheard or it's not worth your time. It is definitely worth your time and energy, and folks like Michael really appreciate it, so they can get the outreach to us. We can share that out. So Michael, thank you. Really appreciate all your time, and we'll check back in with you guys next month.
Thanks for the opportunity to share the message, Jeremy.